You can finish a coding tutorial, understand every line, and still have no idea how to build something alone. So what happened? Did you learn nothing? No. You learned how to follow a route, but you may not have practiced creating the next step. In this video, I'll show you the exact gap between those two skills, and a simple method you can use after your next lesson. Because the problem isn't that tutorials don't teach you anything. The problem is stopping when the tutorial ends. Tutorials feel productive because they give you constant proof that you're moving forward. You finish a lesson. You understand an explanation. You make something work, and the progress bar fills. And that is progress. You're learning concepts. You're learning syntax. You're learning how different pieces work together. So tutorials aren't the enemy. But look at what the tutorial quietly removes. Someone already chose what you're building. Someone already chose the features. Someone already decided where to start. And someone already knows the solution. The path feels clear because the difficult decisions were made before you arrived. That doesn't make the learning fake. But it means you may be practicing a different skill than you think. When you build alone, the route disappears. And now the first problem isn't syntax. It's deciding what to do first. What should this project actually do? What is the smallest useful feature? What information do I need? What can I try with what I already know? That is a different kind of work. Tutorials mostly show you the answer. Independent work asks you to generate the next question. And that's why understanding a solution can feel very different from creating one. Seeing code is recognition. Writing it without looking is recall. Changing it is transfer. And investigating why it failed is problem solving. The tutorial can introduce all of these skills, but you have to continue after the explanation ends. Here's what that looks like with a real lesson. Imagine you just learned how state updates a counter. You followed the tutorial. You understand why the state changes. And the tutorial ends. Most people immediately open the next lesson. Instead, stop here. Close the tutorial. Then recreate the counter without looking. Maybe you forget the exact syntax. Good. Now you know exactly what you need to review. Then change the problem. Add a reset button. Prevent the value from going below 0. Now you can't copy the tutorial exactly. You have to make a decision. And when the code breaks, you have a real question to investigate. That is where the missing skill starts. You don't need to stop using tutorials. You need to make the tutorial ask something back from you. Use this after your next coding lesson. First, watch. Learn the concept normally. Follow the example. Use the tutorial when you need the tutorial. Then, recall. Close the explanation. Recreate one important part without looking. Not the entire project. One important piece. Then, alter. Change one requirement. Add one feature the tutorial didn't include. Or combine the idea with something you learned earlier. The goal is to make copying impossible. Now you have to decide what happens next. Finally, debug. Run your version. Compare it with what you expected. If something is wrong, don't only ask, what is the answer? Ask, what did I expect and what actually happened? That turns an error into information. This is the part tutorials often protect you from. The uncertainty. The possibility that your first idea is wrong. The time spent investigating something without knowing if it will work. That feels less productive because there is no progress bar. No instructor tells you that you're on the right track. But the absence of certainty doesn't mean the absence of progress. Sometimes the wrong attempt reveals the next question. And the next question reveals the next part of the map. You don't discover the whole solution before you start. You create the map by making decisions. So the next time you finish a coding lesson, don't immediately ask, what should I learn next? Ask what you can recall, what you can change, and what you can investigate without instructions. Because finishing a course proves that you reached the end of a course. It doesn't automatically mean you can create the route yourself. And that's okay. The blank editor isn't where your learning failed. It's where the instructions stopped making decisions for you. And the next time you don't know what to write, don't open another course. Ask one question, then try it. See what happens. Ask the next question, and create the route one decision at a time, because that's when learning becomes something you can actually use.